Back at you with another one, baby. Yeah. Shout out once again to my boy Rich for getting his hands on this figure for me. I've done the review of the minus color version of that, so make sure you check it out. This is the Super 7 Toho Ultimates Godzilla -1 charging version. Now, I've seen a bunch of reviews on this, and I've wanted it for quite some time. So let's get it out of this bag and take a look at the box. Okay, so now it's pretty much the same box, quite similar as the minus color box that I've shown you. You're getting the picture of Godzilla -1 here. It's like some nice blue and gray and white and cream color on this box, where the other one was just gray, black, and white. You have Godzilla -1 on the side. You're going to have, the other half. This is one big picture that just continues from the side to the front with some nice blue and white markings here. Of course, you have a window in on top to see the Goji. And then on the back, you're going to get a very nice Godzilla -1 logo with the Goji inside. And that just looks awesome, man. But I do like that you have, a window into the box on one side, on the top, and on the front. And, of course, you have the Goji inside, and we have two different heads, a closed mouth and open mouth. So let's get them out of the box and take a look at it. Just real quickly, before I take them out of the box, I want to compare the two, the minus color box and the charging version box, so you can see the difference. It's basically the same box with the same picture, just different colors, and that looks cool. Okay, straight away, right out of the box, it's looking absolutely phenomenal. You're going to get the closed mouth head with it, which I think is completely unnecessary, to be honest with you. It's the charging version, you know what I mean? You're not going to take the head off that's on it, that's really lit up with the blue from the atomic breath, because that's the gimmick of the figure. So this head is just going to wind up remaining in the box. But anyway, you do get it as an accessory. So now, I've watched reviews on this, and I have heard it called the definitive -1 figure by some reviewers. So we're going to put that notion to the test today, but I am certainly liking what I'm seeing so far on it, especially these dorsal plates. Wow, the ice blue of them really conveys the color of blue from Godzilla -1, and these dorsal plates are raised, which is correct and movie accurate, because the dorsal plates did raise up and then slam back down when he shot out the atomic breath. First time we've seen a Godzilla do that. And I love how they're raised like that, sticking all the way out because he's about to blow his atomic breath. Now, it would have been nice if we got an atomic breath accessory instead of the extra head. That would be nice, so we could actually do that. But I'm sure, and I'm going to look, that somebody's making custom atomic breath pieces for these Super 7s, or for this one in particular. I know, I think, anyway, that they've made custom heads for this, so I don't see why there wouldn't be a custom atomic breath piece floating around for this. Of course, you can see the inside of the mouth is blue on both sides of the mouth, and you have a nice blue tongue. The eyes are fairly well done here. I really, really like the eyes. I don't remember if the eyes turned blue in the movie. I can't, maybe not, but I like the way the eyes are done here. It's like either orange or yellow with a black eyeball. Orangish yellow, like, kind of. They look good. The eyes are good. And so are the teeth. Awesome. Teeth look good. You got nice blue on the side of the mouth there. And it's just this ice blue. This like North Carolina ice blue that is prevalent on the dorsal plates and inside the mouth. And it looks great. Also, the general paint job for Godzilla -1 is really nice too. Yeah, you're getting that like a little bit like the bronzish color that they have on all of it throughout. Of course, the middle piece, I believe, is a different kind of plastic than the rest of it, which you could tell by a little smoothness right here compared to the legs and the tail. But that's fine because that's part of the functionality of it. That's what allows the torso to move so freely and nicely. I love the front of the chest and the paint job on the front of the chest. I love the details on his chest, on his shoulders and arms, going into the neck and the head. Top of the head is really, really detailed. And the tail is just phenomenal with these raised dorsal plates and all of the detail right here going into the leg. The feet, they are painted like, you know, SH Monster Arts feet, basically the same type of color there. It's the color scheme is basically staying the same. It looks a little on the darker side here, but which is actually very nice. So straight away, we've got an excellent paint job on this. Excellent paint job, really good face size and teeth, great detail, and phenomenal dorsal plates. And the dorsal plates are this beautiful, like I guess they're translucent, like ice blue or North Carolina or powder blue. That looks great. We'll have to test what they look like with the black light and the flashlight put up to them. But so far, very, very impressive straight away. So happy that I made this purchase and very, very happy to add this to the collection. Now let's see if it's the definitive Godzilla figure. Let's put it to the test. Okay, so you're going to get this really nice pose of Godzilla basically roaring in the sky. And that's about as high up as you could get him to look. You know, you can't get him to look straight up, but you could get him to look high enough. A highlight of this figure is the functionality of the head and neck, which is just so butter smooth. It's this simple. Boom. Boom. I love that, man. I love the way it moves, and it moves side to side that way as well, and that is fantastic. You know, it's just butter smooth functionality of the head and neck. So I like the way they do that here. Yeah, so you know, you don't need to make him look all the way straight up. It's still, you could still get him into a position where he's bellowing into the sky, and that's very nice. And just how about these beautiful icy looking dorsal plates, man, that just go all the way to the tip of the tail so sharply. Man, I know I geeked out when I watched -1 and each one of those dorsal plates popped out. Like, awesome, man. That was fantastic. And then they slammed back down and they shot it out. So I think it's a nice choice with this particular figure, because we've seen, you know, charged up versions of Godzilla -1, but the dorsal plates were not out like this. And I think that's just awesome that they chose to do that, because it, you know, it really conveys movie accuracy and looks awesome. I'll still maintain we should have had an atomic breath piece with this, but this is just beautiful anyway. All right, and we could get a really nice shot of him like that, which is basically, you know, the position he was in before he blew his atomic breath in the water. And, you know, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about Godzilla's atomic breath. They say that this is the most powerful version of Godzilla's atomic breath ever so far. I've seen articles about that saying that, and it even said it was stronger than Legendaries, which burned the hole down to the hollow earth. This is basically like a nuclear bomb. He can wipe out an entire city with one blast, which you didn't see Legendary, Godzilla do that, basically. Because he was blasting atomic breath left and right when he was fighting Kong in Hong Kong. You know what I mean? Godzilla -1 could take out your whole city. So they say it's the strongest iteration of atomic breath of any of the Godzillas, which is interesting to me. And I'm sure people would debate that too. Yeah, and so this is a really cool pose anyhow, because that's actually how he looked when he was like halfway in the water charging up like that. And it does have a weakness also while being the strongest atomic breath. And that weakness is he has to wait a little while before he can use it. He's got to recharge it. So, this is, the charging up version, by the way. I should mention this, like earlier in the video, I said, why did they include a beam? Just because I would love a beam that was like kind of the same color as these beautiful dorsal plates just to have it. But Toho won't let them do that with this version of the figure because that wouldn't be movie accurate. And the reason it wouldn't be movie accurate is because the dorsal plates are raised. So that's how they just, in the movie it was like they all started raising until he finally blew out his atomic breath. So, but the atomic breath won't happen until they slam back down. It's like a gun, basically. So they pop out and then they slam right back down. So it wouldn't make sense to have an atomic breath piece when, the theme of this figure here, the gimmick of this figure, obviously, is the charging version, like where the dorsal plates are raised. And I actually like that better. I actually like having a figure with the raised dorsal plates. I think that's really very nice. So yeah, I have no complaints about not having a beam. You know what I mean? I could, if I really wanted to pose them with a beam, I could grab one from one of the highest. But yeah, look at that. Anyway, man, this figure just looks so beautiful. What a figure, man. Yeah, definitely, man. Shoot. Oh, okay, that's a really dynamic pose, man. Wow, I could see why people are saying this is the definitive -1. It's really nice. The functionality is dope. It might even be just slightly better than the minus color one as far as functionality goes. I'll have to further explore that, but it just feels so perfect. It's tight, You don't see many gaps at all on this figure, which is why the neck and head work so good. You got a nice bend at the knee, swivel at the foot. The tail is curvable and posable, especially here. You could really bend the tip of the tail nice to create, nice bends and nice different poses in the tail. And that just looks so awesome. It looks brolic. I love this design of Godzilla, man. Godzilla -1 is one of the roughest, toughest, meanest, awesome-looking Godzillas. And, yeah, look at that, man. This just looks so nice. So nice. And I love when you pose them because it starts bringing out the detail in the paint job that you can see. This is a beautiful paint job. This paint job got it right. And it's subtle. And I think that's maybe what a lot of the -1s were missing. They just went so heavy with that bronze on some of them. This is, in my opinion, how you handle the dry brushing. It's subtle and it's just perfect. And it's a nice paint job on this figure. And it looks great, man. Awesome. All right, how about that for functionality? Wow, the tail is so nice and works so well on this figure, man. And this is about as low as you can make them look. It's as much crunch. And same thing as the minus color. You got that smooth area here when you crunch them down, but it's a little more detailed than it was on the minus color and hides it a little bit better because you do have some of that blue paint on it in between the dorsal plates. But yeah, and then the head and the neck just function so perfectly. So, you know, if you want to pose them looking down like that, it's awesome. Next level, in my opinion. It really, really looks good. Of course, you can make the feet swivel out to give it like a low base. And that just looks awesome. That's really nice, too. You're going to get turn and rock at the torso. So it gives you some nice torso movement where you could have him in a position like this, turning to the side. I really like that. There's no movement at the waist, just at the top of the chest. But the way that, and I said this with the minus color, same thing here. The way that the upper body turns and the way that the feet swivel, it makes it look like there is waist articulation, even when there's not. You know what I mean? And I think that that's probably why they did it that way. And it's, oh God, this looks impressive. This is a breathtaking figure. This might be the definitive -1. Yeah, absolutely. This looks awesome. Look at that. Look at how nice that is, man. Wow. Look at the balance this figure has. You know, everybody's always yapping about higher versus SH Master Arts and blah, blah, blah. And I'll tell you, while Super 7 is quietly making figures like this, you know, Super 7 has been entered the chat. You know what I'm saying? And this is a fantastic Godzilla -1. And I might have to agree with the one guy who titled his video, the definitive, is this the definitive -1 figure? You know? It might very well be, man. That's just such a gorgeous pose. Look at all the detail come out on it. And damn, some of the best dorsal plates on a figure I've seen. You know, and the tail is amazing on this figure. I really like what it could do. You know what I mean? It'll give you curve, but then it'll even give you a little bit more towards the tip of the tail. And the functionality of the feet is just purely fantastic, man. This is just a really well done figure all around. Good eyes, good teeth, good head sculpt, good paint on the inside of the mouth, beautiful dorsal plates, good paint job and great detail on the figure. Awesome, man. This is a winner. Wow, look at that. You want to make Godzilla -1 look like he's running? That's one of the best damn running poses I've seen in quite some time. That looks amazing. Look at that. It really looks like he's chugging along right there and moving. Awesome, man. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, this is just a solid, heavy figure with a nice big tail. You can see the curvature. Look at that. That's great, man. The functionality of the tail is fantastic. And look at the balance of this figure, man. Just a really nice foot stomping pose for Godzilla. You're getting good bend at the knee here, and the feet are going to give you good support along with the tail to balance this out and give a nice foot stomping pose if you want one, man. Awesome. Look at how nice that is, broskies. Oh, man. That is beautiful, man. You could get him in some nice dynamic poses. This figure is gorgeous. Look at that. I love, you know, like these side poses for Godzilla -1 with these Super 7 figures, man. Because it just looks so hard. Dope. Okay, now I want to show you how wide you could get the arms and the legs. That's about as far out as each. You know, remember, they don't move that far out on that, but that doesn't hinder the movement of the legs at all, because the articulation is just more than solid on this figure. Very, very nice and smooth. Yeah. So, but you get about that kind of width on it. Yeah, I just keep trying different poses, and it's just like everything looks good. Every pose looks great with this figure. Wow, man. What a nice figure by Super 7, man. Super 7 is like my new favorite. I've been getting a lot of them lately, and I really like them. Look how well done this is. Can't tell me any different, man. This is one of the best figures that came out recently, period. Look at that. Then, of course, you could do that famous Godzilla -1 from behind pose that you saw on all the posters. And that looks sick, man. So nice. And take a look at how much bend in at the elbows that you get, too. You could, like, raise Godzilla's hand to, like, almost bring it up to the wound on the side of his face right there. That just looks insane. That's really top of the line articulation to get that much of a bend at the elbow. I love that. You can actually achieve a really nice crawling on all fours pose with Godzilla -1. Awesome. Look at that. And look at that foot. Look at how the foot goes flat at that angle, man. Super underrated articulation here. Wow. This is definitely one of the best Godzilla -1 figures, without a doubt. Clicking on all cylinders, hitting all the right notes. Yeah, man. So happy to have this one, truly. It's like one of the nicest figures I've gotten recently. I like how you could get them nice and low, almost like kneeling down on one knee like this. Look at the curve. Look at the fluidity of these dorsal plates, man. Wow. What an awesome figure. The dorsal plates are just incredible. The color is just woof. It's this ice blue that's just absolutely beautiful, man. And I love that you could do these expressive poses. Awesome. That looks great. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, look at the functionality of the feet, too. The why that feet, it just flops back and you get the front one to go flat, you know? I love that. Look at that. I love the rock you get at the torso, where you could just look at that, man. Really look like he's leaning over to the side, but it's also tall, you know? And the tail is like just really, really posable. That's so crazy that you could do stuff like that. Articulation on this figure is, to me, it's really top notch. It's kind of like it's simple, but it functions perfectly. Okay, a pretty damn good and absolutely beautiful swimming pose. Because you see the entirety of these. Look at that. Look at these dorsal plates, man, to get up and close. That icy blue goodness. Blue and like white, icy goodness. Yeah. That's beautiful, man. Those are some of the nicest dorsal plates I've seen on a figure recently. And it makes for a cool swimming pose. Okay, so now I want to give you a shot with the closed mouth head, which I kind of like pissed on before, but it's actually quite nice. You know what I mean? I think that looks really good. It's like very good eyes and teeth. Yeah, and then you do have like a little bit of the blue on the side of the mouth right there, but the eyes are well done here. Yeah, I really like the way this closed mouth head looks, actually. It's kind of like really menacing and evil looking. Look at that. And the eyes are painted so well. The teeth are really, really well done. Wow. I kind of like that. Yeah. Before I was saying it wasn't even necessary, but now I'm thinking this just like kind of unlocked a whole new array of poses because it just looks so different. Look at that. That's nice. Yeah, so this is a nice sculpt, man. Head sculpt and the body. Dope. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, the closed-mouthed head gives it like a certain, like, majestic look to it. So, yeah, okay. I actually really like that I have that to swap that out right now because that is nice, man. Yeah. Look at that. Sweet business, man. Love your Super 7. You could get creative and do some stuff like this. Look at that. Wow. Guys, can you guys feel the flow of articulation on this thing? You see what this thing could do? That's awesome, man. Well, I mean, shout out to the way they did the legs and feet on this thing. And everything, really, you know? I think the only flaw that these figures have, these Ultimate Series, is just how it's smooth underneath. But I understand that that's what, you know, gives you the rock. But they could have detailed it a little more. Even if it was rough to rock, that's my one and only gripe. Otherwise, but that's nothing really, because it doesn't matter. Because when you rock it, anyway, the pose that you're going for is really from the other side, so you don't even see that. You know what I mean? And that is incredible. Okay, so for a nice comparison, I thought I'd bring out either, you know, heat ray, atomic breath, or charging figure here that I have, just to show you how he stacks up with them. Of course, this is the Super 7 Reaction Series Godzilla 1974 charged up version, you know. So that one, that's the little one that we really like. It's another Super 7 like the -1. And then you got the NECA GMK Godzilla, which is really nice with a splash of blue all over the front of it, the face and the chest. Of course, you got the heat radiation version of the Millennium Godzilla right there, which has absolutely gorgeous dorsal plates the way they're painted. It's very, very nice. It's like a iridescent blue, ice blue. Dope, man. Then, of course, you got Haya's heat ray translucent version right there. And we're going to have the SH Monster Arts GXK Godzilla right there. That's before Evolve came out. We got that. Those were the initial figures. And the dorsal plates are absolutely painted beautifully on that. I love that figure, man. I love both the Haya and the SH Monster Arts here. They look great. This, of course, is the 2014 NYC Comic-Con Bandai Creations Godzilla right there. This is a very rare figure. And it's super, super nice. This to me was one of the definitive 2014 Godzilla figures. Yeah, very nice. And then we have the Playmates. Yeah, man, Heat Ray Godzilla from Playmates is awesome. Look at that beautiful North Carolina blue and black right there. It's got a nice, beautiful blue eyes. Eyes are awesome on that. And a nice atomic breath piece that comes with it. But, yeah. So, a lot of blue right there. That's how it stacks up. And also, you can see the size difference with Super 7, you know. Super 7's even bigger than Haya. So, awesome, man. I'm happy to have all of these figures right here. All right, and here we go with its minus color counterpart here. which is a beautiful figure in its own right. I totally love this. I'm happy that this one was my first Super 7 Ultimates figure. You know, I love this. Check out my review for this one as well. And yeah, you could see there's definitely differences in it. Yeah, quite a bit, actually, you know. Yeah, I think the tail is a little thicker on the minus color. Yeah, especially at the tip, where I think maybe that one, they get more bend at the tip, it might be slightly more posable as far as the tail is concerned. Yeah, I mean, I really love minus color, man. Sick. And this thing is just beautiful, so. Awesome that I got both of these. Maybe I'll get the regular version now, you know what I mean, just to be a completist, but yeah, so happy to have these guys. All right, so that's fantastic. That's the glow you're going to get on it with the lights out. That looks absolutely amazing. And you can see the glow from inside of his mouth as well, as all the dorsal plates straight down to the tip of the tail. And this is what it's going to look like when you put a black light on it. Look at how the figure reacts to the black light. And the dorsal plates. Sweet business, man. That looks awesome. Look at that. Wow. Cool shit. All right, so that's going to wrap this one up, folks. Absolutely beautiful figure. Godzilla -1 charging version, Super 7 Toho Ultimates. Fantastic, man. This is about as good as a figure could get. It's a 5-star figure for sure. It's one of the best figures to come out recently. And I think everybody needs to own this. It's a special figure. It's just hitting all around. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever we ask for from figures we're getting here. We're getting the solid paint job. We're getting beautiful dorsal plates that are just fantastic with a cool gimmick. They're raised like they were raised in the movie before he was about to shoot his atomic breath. You know, and you just got a great sculpt. The eyes are done well. The teeth are done well. It's just, there's nothing more you can ask for from a figure. And it's reasonable price, too. I paid $100 for this. I don't care. I don't care. Worth every penny of that $100. Honestly, it really and truly is. You know what I mean? This is competing with Haya and SH Monster Arts. Sorry, it just is. In a big way. You know? So, shout out to Super 7. And if you like this, go out and get you some charged up minus Goji. And subscribe to the channel, like the goddamn video. Peace!